My GF cried, "You're always working late," accusingly. I said, "Building something." When she discovered I'd been creating a company to escape our toxic relationship and just sold it, the late nights paid off. Original post: I, 28 male, just closed the biggest deal of my life yesterday. Not a business deal in the traditional sense, though that happened too. I finally escaped from Brianna, 26, after 2.5 years of what I can only describe as psychological warfare disguised as a relationship. The company sale went through at 3 p.m. yesterday. $340,000 for a software tool I built during all those suspicious late nights she constantly accused me of using to cheat. The irony is delicious. Let me back up. I met Brianna at a friend's birthday party. She was charming, gorgeous, and laughed at my nerdy jokes. First few months were great, then the mask started slipping. It started small. She'd get upset if I didn't respond to texts within 5 minutes. She'd accuse me of looking at other women when we were out. She'd go through my phone when she thought I was asleep. I wasn't. She'd start fights right before important work presentations or family events. But here's the thing about toxic relationships. They don't start toxic. They decay slowly, like boiling a frog. By the time you realize you're being cooked, you're already half dead. 8 months ago, after another screaming match about me taking too long to buy milk, 22 minutes apparently meant I was meeting someone, I realized I needed an exit strategy. But Brianna had systematically isolated me from friends, knew where I worked, and had threatened self-harm whenever I tried to leave before. I needed to be smart about this, so I started working late. At first, I actually was working late on a side project. I'm a software developer by day, and I'd identified a gap in the market for a specific type of inventory management tool for small restaurants. Nothing revolutionary, just something that solved a real problem elegantly. Every night after my actual job, I'd head to the library or a 24-hour diner and code for 3 to 4 hours. Brianna was furious, of course. The accusations flew thick and fast. I was cheating. I was gay. I was selling drugs. I was in a fight club. Seriously, she suggested this. I just kept saying, "I'm building something." She'd cry, scream, throw things, show up at my office to catch me in the act. My coworkers started calling her the tornado because of the chaos she'd bring. But I kept coding, line by line, feature by feature. 4 months in, I had a working prototype, found my first customer through a Reddit post in a restaurant owners group, then another, then 5 more. Within 6 months, I had 50 paying customers at $200 a month each. Last month, a bigger company in the restaurant software space reached out. They wanted to acquire my tool and integrate it into their suite. Yesterday, the deal closed. Today, I told Brianna I was leaving. Update 1. The explosion was everything I expected and more. When I told Brianna I was leaving, she cycled through emotions like a possessed slot machine. Tears, rage, bargaining, threats, more tears, then something I hadn't seen before. Cold calculation. "You can't afford to leave," she said, suddenly calm. "You pay $1,800 for this apartment. You'll need first, last, and security for a new place. That's what, $5,400? Plus moving costs. Plus you'll need furniture because all of this is mine." She gestured around the apartment with a smirk. She was right about the furniture. I'd let her decorate everything, paid for most of it, but stupidly didn't keep receipts. Everything was hers in her mind. "I'll manage," I said. "With what money? Your little developer salary? After taxes and bills, you probably have, what, $2,000 saved up? Maybe 3? That's when I smiled. I couldn't help it. "What's so funny?" she snapped. "Nothing. You're right. It'll be tough." I didn't tell her about the $340,000. Why would I? We weren't married, no common law in our state. She had no claim to money I earned from a business I built entirely outside of our relationship that she didn't even know existed. But Brianna wasn't done. Oh no, she went full nuclear. First, she called my mom. Told her I was having a mental breakdown, that I was throwing away our beautiful relationship because of stress at work. My mom called me concerned. I explained calmly that I was fine, just ending an unhealthy relationship. When my mom mentioned Brianna had said we were planning to get engaged, we weren't. I realized how deep her delusions went. Then she called my boss. My boss. At 9 p.m., on his personal cell, still don't know how she got it. Told him I was unstable, possibly using drugs, and shouldn't be trusted with important projects. My boss, Rick, is a good dude. He called me immediately after. "Hey man, just got the weirdest call from Brianna. Yeah, we're breaking up. She's not taking it well." She said, "You're on drugs?" Do I seem like I'm on drugs? No, you seem like you're dating a psychopath. Not anymore. Good, take tomorrow off if you need it, and maybe consider getting a restraining order. But the real shock came the next day. I went to the apartment while she was at work to pack my stuff. Except, my stuff was already gone. My clothes, my laptop, my gaming console, my coffee maker, I'm particular about my coffee, everything. Gone. In their place was a note. "Your things are safe. We need to talk about our future. Don't do anything rash." She'd held my possessions hostage. I called the police. They said it was a civil matter since we lived together. I could sue her in small claims court, but they couldn't force her to return my things without a court order. So I did the one thing she didn't expect. I let her keep it all. Went straight to Target, bought a week's worth of clothes, grabbed new laptop from Best Buy. Checked into an extended stay hotel. All in, maybe $3,000. Pocket change compared to what I'd just made. But I did do one petty thing. I canceled all the streaming services, the internet, and the utilities that were in my name. Effective immediately. Her texts started around 8 p.m. when she got home. "The internet isn't working. Did you cancel Netflix? The power company says service ends tomorrow. This is illegal. You can't just abandon me. I have your things, we need to talk." I didn't respond, but I did screenshot everything. Update 2: Brianna's entitlement reached new heights this week. First, she tried to get me evicted from the hotel. She called them claiming I was a dangerous ex who was stalking her and staying there to be close to her. Problem is, the hotel was 45 minutes away from our old apartment. Also, I'd already made friends with the manager, Jerome, after helping him fix a bug in their booking system, occupational hazard of being helpful. He gave me a heads up about the call and we had a good laugh. Then she went after my money, or what she thought was my money. She filed a claim in small claims court for $15,000. Her reasoning? Emotional damages and 2.5 years of unpaid domestic labor. She actually tried to bill me for cooking dinner. Badly, I might add. The woman thought salt was spicy, and doing laundry, she shrank 3 of my shirts. But here's where her greed revealed something important. She had no idea about the company sale. See, I'd incorporated the business under an LLC with a generic name. All the banking was separate. I never worked on it at home. She thought my late nights were just me doing overtime at my regular job or cheating. In her filing, she referenced my software developer salary multiple times. She thought she was dealing with someone making $75K a year. While she was playing small claims games, I was meeting with a realtor about buying a house. Cash offer, closing in 14 days. But then Brianna made a critical mistake. She created a TikTok. Day 1 of making my narcissistic ex pay, it started. She filmed herself in the apartment that she couldn't afford alone, surrounded by my things, explaining how I'd abandoned her after years of her supporting my career. The fiction she created was impressive. According to her, she'd been the one encouraging me to work late, to chase my dreams, only for me to discard her once I got a promotion. I didn't get a promotion. The video went mini viral in her circle. 50K views, hundreds of comments calling me trash. But she'd forgotten one crucial detail. My cousin Harmony follows her on TikTok. Harmony screen recorded everything and sent it to me. More importantly, she noticed something I hadn't. Brianna was wearing my watch in the video. My grandfather's watch that she claimed was lost when she hid my things. That's theft. Actual provable theft of an item worth over $2,000. I filed a police report, this time with video evidence of her in possession of stolen property. The police suddenly became much more interested. Update 3. The House of Cards collapsed spectacularly. The police showed up at Brianna's apartment about the watch. She panicked and tried to hide it, but it was literally in her TikTok. When they threatened to get a warrant, she suddenly found it and handed it over, claiming it was all a misunderstanding. But while they were there, they noticed something else. My gaming console prominently displayed in her living room, and my laptop on her coffee table, and my clothes hanging in the bedroom, visible through the doorway. The officer asked her directly, "Ma'am, are these items yours?" She said yes. "So, you purchased this PlayStation 5? No. But then why did you just tell me it was yours?" She crumbled. Admitted she'd hidden my things to make me talk to her. The officers informed her that withholding someone's property to coerce them is considered theft and potentially extortion. They gave her two options: return everything immediately, or they'd arrest her. She chose option 1. But while this was happening, her TikTok was blowing up in ways she didn't expect. Remember that mini viral video? Well, someone in the comments recognized the apartment complex and mentioned that rent there was $1,800 per month. Others started doing math. If I'd abandoned her, how was she affording it? Why did she have all my stuff if I'd left? The narrative started falling apart. Then Harmony struck gold. She found Brianna's Instagram from a year ago, where she'd posted about being so proud of my man working extra hours to save for our future, with heart emojis. The same period she was now claiming I was neglecting her. Harmony posted the screenshot in the TikTok comments. The tide turned. People started calling out the inconsistencies. Brianna tried damage control, posting follow-up videos, but each one had more holes than the last. Then the killing blow came from an unexpected source, her best friend, Jessica. Jessica had been watching all this unfold and finally had enough. She posted her own TikTok, "Story time, my best friend is lying about her ex for clout. Here's what really happened." She exposed everything. The constant accusations, the showing up at my work, the threats of self-harm. She even had screenshots of texts where Brianna admitted she was training him to be better through strategic emotional pressure. Jessica's video got 200K views in 2 days. Brianna's social media imploded. She went from victim to villain overnight. She privated everything, but the damage was done. Meanwhile, I closed on my house. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, small yard, quiet neighborhood. First night in my own place, I sat on the floor, no furniture yet, eating takeout Chinese food, and felt something I hadn't felt in years: peace. Then my phone buzzed. An email from Brianna's lawyer. She actually got one. They were dropping the small claims case and wanted to negotiate a settlement for her emotional distress. I forwarded it to my lawyer. "Yeah, I got one too. Amazing what you can afford with 340K, with 2 words, absolutely not." Final update. It's been 30 days since I moved into my house, and I need to share how this all ended because it's genuinely unbelievable. Brianna's lawyer dropped her after my lawyer sent back a counterclaim for harassment, defamation, and theft. Apparently, when he realized she'd been lying about the extent of my finances and saw the evidence we'd compiled, TikToks, police reports, text messages, he wanted no part of it. But Brianna wasn't done. She tried representing herself. She filed a motion claiming I'd hidden assets during our relationship, that the company I sold was marital property, we were never married, and she deserved half. She actually showed up to court with a printed PowerPoint presentation. The judge stopped her on slide 2. "Miss, were you and the defendant married?" "No, but did you live in a common law state?" "I don't know what that means." "Did you contribute financially to his business?" "I contributed emotionally." "That's not what I asked." It took the judge exactly 6 minutes to dismiss everything with prejudice. That means she can't refile the same claims. But the real karma came from an unexpected place. Remember Brianna couldn't afford the apartment alone? She'd gotten a roommate, a girl named Dakota who seemed nice enough on paper. What Brianna didn't know was that Dakota was Jessica's cousin. Jessica had suggested her when Brianna was desperately looking for someone to cover half the rent. Dakota moved in and proceeded to be the roommate from hell. Not maliciously, she was just living her life. Playing music at reasonable hours, which Brianna hated. Having friends over on weekends, Brianna wanted complete silence. Cooking foods Brianna didn't like the smell of. Normal roommate stuff that Brianna couldn't handle because she'd never had to compromise before. Within 3 weeks, Brianna was begging the landlord to break the lease. The landlord reminded her she'd need to pay 2 months' rent as a penalty. Money she didn't have because she'd spent it all on lawyers and a lifestyle she couldn't afford. Last I heard, through the grapevine, she'd moved back in with her parents in another state. As for me, The software company that bought my tool hired me as a consultant to help with the integration. I'm making an additional $10 per month for the next 6 months. I bought furniture for my house, stuff I actually like, not whatever was on sale at HomeGoods. I adopted a cat named Debug. Yes, I'm that nerdy. Started dating a woman I met at a coffee shop who thinks it's hilarious that I named my cat Debug. Life is good. Oh, and those late nights Brianna complained about? Now I spend them on my couch, coding if I want to, gaming if I don't, with Debug purring on my lap and no one screaming at me for existing. Looking back, the $340K wasn't even the best part of building that company. It was having an escape plan. Every line of code I wrote was a step toward freedom. Every feature I built was a brick in the wall between me and that toxic situation. To anyone stuck in something similar, document everything. Build your exit strategy. And remember, the best revenge isn't some elaborate scheme. It's just leaving and living well. Brianna, if you're reading this and knowing you, you've probably found it. I want you to know something. I started building that company the night you accused me of cheating because I bought 2% milk instead of whole milk. That argument was so absurd, so detached from reality, that I realized I needed to create my own reality. One where you didn't exist. Congratulations, you played yourself. Edit. Since some people asked, yes, the company that bought my software knew about the situation. My new girlfriend actually asked the same thing. Turns out, the CEO had gone through a similar relationship and recognized the signs when I mentioned working on it late at night at diners. He said the fact that I built something valuable while dealing with that level of stress showed the kind of focus they wanted on their team. Sometimes trauma becomes triumph. You just have to code your way through it. Edit 2. For those asking about the technical details, it was a kitchen inventory management system with predictive ordering based on historical data and local events, like if there's a football game nearby, pizza places need more supplies. Nothing that'll change the world, but it solved a real problem for small restaurant owners who couldn't afford the enterprise solutions. Sometimes the best businesses are the boring ones that just work. Final edit. I'm done updating. Brianna's mom reached out to apologize for her daughter's behavior. Apparently, this isn't the first relationship Brianna has destroyed with her behavior. Her parents are trying to get her into therapy. I wish them luck, but ask them not to contact me again. That chapter is closed. Debug, and I have code to write.